Welcome to today's episode. India's services sector has become a major growth engine, contributing to more than half of the country's economic output. Today, in this conversation, we will explore what's driving this momentum and how can investors benefit from it. Joining us today is Mr. Rohit Tandon, fund manager at Kotak Mahindra Asset Management Company Limited, to share his expert insights on the structural drivers, digitization trends, sub-sector surprises, and risk management strategies behind the Kotak Services Fund. So, let's get started. Welcome to the show, Mr. Tandon.
Thank you for having me.
So, India's services sector now contributes over 55% to GVA and has outpaced other sectors. I want to understand what are the main structural drivers that make this growth sustainable and how does Kotak Services Fund plan to capture this momentum?
So the first theme is that of urbanization. More and more people are moving to the cities.
Right.
And cities' contribution to the overall GDP is also increasing. And cities are the home of services. People consume more services than goods in cities. Then the second thing is demographics. India has a median age of 28 years. So there is a lot of need to consume travel, entertainment, hospitality, all these things. The third thing is largely on the side of delivery of services. So delivery of services through digitization and the entire data tsunami which has happened since 2016 has also sort of brought these things into focus. The next thing is, a lot of sunrise services which didn't exist in the last 3-4 years. For example, grocery services at your footsteps or a lot of phygital services. These are a sign of things to come.
10
And
minutes delivery.
yes,
Yeah.
exactly. So these are the sign of things to come. There will be much more that will be coming. And our fund, Kotak Services Fund, would be looking to host as many such opportunities and themes in itself as it can.
Can you share examples of how digitization and premiumization changing the services landscape?
So if you look at edutech, so in edutech you can not just get mass services or mass education at a low price. You can get some particular tutor sitting anywhere all over the country teaching you one particular subject or one particular topic in that particular subject. And you can get the kind of services that you actually want. The same is happening when you are getting saloon services at your home. So these kind of services which are in the phygital domain, these are increasingly getting premiumized. And it is not, something which is available just at the mass level. You are getting a straddle of services which should suit different customers depending on their wallet.
Mr. Tandon, also tell us what are the sub-sector surprises. So, among the many fast evolving areas within the India services sector, which do you feel are the most overlooked by the investors today and what really makes them compelling in your view?
I don't think that there is anything which is totally, missing from investor wallet or investor fancy or anything. What we have yet to see is a lot of formalization. So while in travel, you have hotels which are available, but there are things like tour operators, there are things like other ancillary services which are not yet sort of formalized. Those can come in. If you look at the number of concerts that have been held, they have increased in the last 2 years by more than 60-70%. Attendance has also increased. But is there any play? No. More formalization would lead to availability of such themes for investors to invest. Investors are there. They recognize these themes, but these themes are not available as investment opportunities.
So, what are the main risks in a services focused fund and how do you manage them? And also, how does the fund adapt its strategy during the periods of market volatility and economic slowdown?
So any thematic fund has the problem that it gets overweight on a certain theme.
Right.
And whenever, as you said, that there is an economic downturn or there is some shock in the economy, then all these themes get moving in the same manner, in the same way. So what we are doing, we are ensuring that there is diversification of themes. And the good thing about services is that you have IT services, which is totally uncorrelated to banking services. There is something like entertainment, which is unrelated to, say, B2B. So you would have consumer services, you would have industrial services. So across that entire gamut, you are well diversified, and this sort of risk of over, leveraging on a particular theme, that gets reduced.
So, finally, with such a broad and diversified universe, what is the fund's process for active stock selection?
So first of all, Kotak has a PMV approach. We look at the business, whether it is going to deliver that sort of a growth with requirement of capital. Then there is the kind of management which is running that particular business, our view of that management. And finally, the valuations, which are again governed by our GARP approach, which is growth at reasonable price. So all these three things in tandem, coupled with our research coverage, which looks at a lot of businesses, bottom up, etc. That is how we are going to manage the fund and create sustainable alpha for our investors.
Thank you so much, Mr. Tandon, for joining us and sharing your valuable and actionable insights.
Thank you.
So, this brings us to the end of this insightful conversation on India's services sector and the strategies powering Kotak Services Fund. We hope this discussion helps our investors to take informed and wise decisions. Until next time, stay tuned to Kotak Mutual Fund.
Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme-related documents carefully.